So here we go, UTOPIA versus Oops, the first round between these two. UTOPIA will be taking on the defense and Oops taking on the attack here, and no mainland.
No, Mylando, this doesn't look well. So that fabulous 7 of Oops is still not shown. But maybe someone will do a good replacing, like, I don't know, Dezon.
I don't know, man. He always puts out the damage. I'm not sure about this pick. We'll have to see how it works out, but they're already blitzing onto the cap, Mojo.
Yeah, they're really super aggressive, as we usually said. Insane, Deja, and Silence, all of them are in a cap. We do know they will not stay there if there is a huge push. So it's a matter of time how they position other tanks. Dead Zone is down spotting, so they're not resetted blindly by 3090.
Cap is on 25 seconds. Marakar in the 113 is the closest to the vicinity in order to reset. But the Kranwagen peeks over. Rulezik gets a shot onto Silence. Kamil trades that though for 400. Cap is off now, so they have to move. And all this time, Shuku in the 3090 did not move, which is a critical factor in this match as well. Because if he moves, they could catch him out. Rulezik trading again here, 1 for 1.
Yeah, 1 for 1 now was not needed, but 1 for 1 for decapping, that was a cheap decap by UTOPIA, and you can see the advantage of having Kranwagen with -12 gun depression compared to an E5. E5 would probably even get tracked there on the top, and he would be in a deep trouble.
Yeah, because he would have to peek over further to get that reset. Silence taking some more on the way out. This is the price you pay for that quick cap bait. HP still pretty even here between these two, but I'd say UTOPIA first small victory for them, pushing Oops away from that cap.
Yeah, it's still some HP given to Silence especially, but there is a lot of UTOPIA tanks mounting, and they might actually do a push.
They're pushing onto Spoink right now. They see the Batchat out of position. They're pushing towards them. Spoink already taking 2. The third shot could come in now. Bihu peeks around the corner to pick it up. There we go. Colosoid only taking minor amount of damage for that 786. Milosh trying to help, but it's not enough, as Bihu and Colosoid should be pretty safe here. And Insane, he's not safe himself. He needs to be careful.
Yeah, this is not a good start here for Oops. That light setup didn't work out because there was no counterattack. Insane is taking so much damage, and there is a medium pushing there on the K-line, but UTOPIA, big advantage here.
Marakar got tracked left, right, and center, though he goes down, but Dead Zone crossed over in the K-line. They lose Deja. They will lose Dead Zone here as well, as Shuku is moving in, but Dynamo should have no issue with him. Well, he needs some help from Shuku. 1 shot to be exact. Dynamo comes around for that 1 shot, and he will come in for the ram here. There we go. Dynamo picks it up in the ram, and now 4 tanks left standing here for Oops, and UTOPIA with a comfortable lead in this round, and still having Rulezik left alive as well. They should be able to close out this round. Great stuff here. Rulezik now coming forwards in his Kranwagen as well. And this is the beginning of the end here for Oops, as Rulezik closes down Insane. Just 3 left.
Why is Mylando not playing? 1-2-0 it will be here for UTOPIA with a pretty much clear lead here. Silence left on 1 shot. Kamil on 1400 HP. Well, it's going to require more than a simple carry to win this match. Like, even in theoretical team domain, I don't think it's doable.
They have to be the ultimate carry, as Silence goes into the 1v1 here with Bihu, lines up the shot. Kamil actually taking down Colosoid. In the meantime, no. As I say that, he misses the shot. He will get it on the 3rd one, though. Now Bihu with Silence still in the 1v1. Bihu, you can't doubt the man. He will win that. He did take some damage in return, but in the end, the result stays the same. Kamil versus 5. Well, 4 here in a second, but, you know, last tank standing on the reload, and there's a lot of hungry tanks from UTOPIA closing in.
Never give up, never surrender, but I don't think he will survive till the next clip.
Shuku is going to come in with the ramming speed. I can feel it. Actually, probably Bihu will get there before that 1390. Kamil now just playing on the edge of the water. Submarine, aquatic Batchat. As you can see, the water splashes move as Kamil is about... No, Bihu is like drowning. Ooh, no, disrespectful.
You know that song, man. Yellow Submarine. Yellow. Well, they do have the camo for that.
Well, I mean, technically, you know, Oops the tough giraffes. Giraffes have a long neck. In that amount of water, he'd be sticking out this far. So you wouldn't really be able to drown. But you're right. Yeah, Yellow Submarine it is.
Thank you.
you were like, oh, he's leaving me hanging. It's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
That is, I don't know. That's... I what to say about this round, Mojo, because it just pushes all around the map from Oops.
Oops really did aggressive press from the start. We've seen it happen in last seasons more than once, pressuring this cap. But Kranwagen is pretty much tanks that resolves that problem, because all the tanks do not have to take unnecessary risks. So I would say that maybe if they had a TD behind, aiming there where Kranwagen would peek to punish him for 800, yeah, that would be a good trade then. But like this, it was just one shot and he just went away free.
Issue is still that the Kranwagen put a TD behind. There's still the frontal armor. He wouldn't go through.
No, he can be in village side and he
can
just aim like that.
A nice amount of damage here from Miloš, but Bihu, Dynamo, Colossoid, I'm not sure if I sold him. I hope I didn't.
I still have Bihu, but I did sell Dynamo after the last week's performance that took me sky high to 500 spot.
I think I bought Bihu and I think I kept Colossoid. I think Colossoid could do well, so I'm still in the clear here. But I sold Miloš and I'm already starting to regret that.
Well, we will see. It's a long match, and Miloš, if he keeps playing those single shooters, which they put to die in Oops, he might not do much there. Deha, really, for a guy who's doing so much heavy lifting in out of range, I don't know, really scarcely he does that here in Oops.
I don't know, we haven't seen his full potential yet, but give it time. We're still in the online stage. Anything can happen here. I think he is one of those players. You need to give him time. He comes from an all-Polish lineup, communication, etc., etc. It takes time. It's going to take more than a few matches for him to be integrated into the lineup. I think he might be somebody to watch out towards the end of the season. Not in the beginning, but towards the end.
Let's not forget, but over time, you still need to be in top 6, so you would have a future in the season.
Yeah, yes.
So
that might be an issue for one of these teams if Asuba keeps up their performances.
Yes, we were saying from the start of the season that Asuba and GRS will be the teams that as newcomers, they will struggle for every point and they will be snatching them from anyone who expects them from granted. Now everyone does have to play for them. I mean, Oops is 7th with 5 points only. That's not that much.
They need points here. They need them now. They need them quickly. It starts with the next round. Let's take a look at the lineups they are going to be bringing in them as well. Morovanka, it is still in Utopia, taking a leave out of the book of Kazna.
Utopia in attack with Kranwagen. Well, this is pretty much the identical lineup as we've seen Kazna play in a previous match. But Oops is playing here with one Emil and no more of Swedish cooldowners, one TVP for support, and everything else is on rotational budgets.
So, Oops is deciding to go with a similar lineup to Kazakh crew, but instead of the Kranwagen, they only bring the Emil, so they don't bring both Tier 9 and Tier 10. What do you think is the reason behind not bringing the Tier 10 with this lineup?
Well, I think that Oops really likes to play super aggressive, so they like to rely on a lot of rotations with these tanks. They might even try again a trap on a lower side.
And you have to be careful against the lineup that Utopia is bringing out to that, though. No?
Of course, but Utopia with this, I think they will be prone anyways, mostly to playing from up first. Like, they have really no reason with this to play from lower side of the map.
Exactly, and I think that's going to be an issue for Oops then if they have tanks cut out in that area.
There might be a possibility that Oops will actually push to the forest side maybe with this, you know?
Well, we'll have to see as we get into the second round here between Utopia and Oops, where Utopia is currently up 1-0 on the attack. Oops on the defense need this round to not have to win the next map. And like you said, Mojo, Utopia have no business on the lower side. They're already going down, but Oops
is going through the center. Interesting.
Yeah, we've seen them do this against Ding.
Yes, we've seen it already happen. Now, Bihu is a really cautious player. We will see, will he monitor and see that kind of movement on the time in his tier 9 budget. Of course, he is far inferior to what's coming to him. But he will use his house as a hideout, I guess. And maybe even run away alive.
He spots out a lot of the lineup here from Oops, but can he run? That is the question. Colostor, Dynamo, and Muka are not going to sit on this cap. They're going to go towards Miloš. They know that capping is not really an issue as they're losing Bihu in the meantime. Cautious player, yes. Dead, also yes. No, actually survives Bihu, just about gets around the corner. I was 100% sure he was dead here, but now put our attention towards Miloš here. He is going to be the next crucial factor. The shells are starting to come in from the back lines. Muka peeks out, does not connect on towards him. You can see the hold down from that Emil too, and now Muka needs to back on around the corner himself. In the meantime, they lose Bihu though, so Utopia here already down about 1000 HP, but now Rulezik might get into the fight with his Kranwagen, perhaps change the dynamic.
Honestly, this is a moment where Utopia should use and probably try to press Utopia. I mean Oops, because Oops should be in reload on at least half of the tanks.
Well, we'll have to see. They have Maraka, they have Rulezik, Insane coming into the 1-2 line, into that C1 position, might be providing fire into their sides as the dead zone on the other end of the map. Mayland back into the lineup now with his DVP. And what is going to be the solution here for Utopia to get out of this encirclement?
This is a super interesting moment in the game, guys, because unlike what it looks like on a minimap, Oops is actually defending.
Yeah, which is
And Utopia is attacking, but they just switched positions completely. And Utopia is in a deep trouble now, because with this defensive lineup, what will they do? They lost mobility because they didn't counterattack on time, I think.
I'm waiting for the Kranwagen to drive onto the cap. I don't know if he can hold down either him or the E5. One of the two has to start off the cap. Need to force Insane to peak, need to punish Insane, need to punish Milosh and cover the K-line. That's their only option, I think, in this round. Colossoid is now starting to take the 1-2 line a little bit. There we go. Cap has started by Marakar. So it seems like that is their potential play.
Oof, if Miloš connected now on Muka, that would be a serious problem for Utopia, because he would be on one shot. Colossoid losing Amorek here. I wonder, does he still have a repair kit? It's going to be quite a problem if he doesn't.
Nope, no repair kit available for Colossoid. Already used that one, so it's going to have a 70-second reload for the rest of this game.
RIP. After this, if he empties the clip entirely, that's going to be a long reload. Deha picked up a shot in his gun and immediately used the repair kit.
Now, Utopia are only down 1.5 HP, but positionally, they are completely surrounded. There is nowhere they can go without finding a gun of Oops.
Hey, if they were defenders, this would make a sense. But as we said, Oops really played aggressive with this lineup. I expected them maybe even to play from the lower side more toward the forest, but actually they chose the fast lane express through the middle of the map, and immediately they went and found a scout. It would be quite a
K-line
clash.
push.
That's
Dynamo got spotted out. He's taking damage already. Camille and the dead zone, even more. He goes down, clipped out by Mayland in the TVP with fire from the back lines coming in. He got spotted moving into that bush, and now Utopia are going to go for the desperate play. It seems like almost just about. Nope.
I think Utopia here as attacker has to do something. I mean, Oops really don't have to lift a finger here. They have the crossfire, though they don't have to kill them. They just need to wait for Utopia to come at them. I believe Silence is replaced in this game by Mayland.
Yeah, Silence is not playing this, and Miloš is still alive. Very good there by that Emil too. You can see just the amount of shots he's bouncing. Colossoid now losing his turret, losing his gun. He is pretty much dead on his tracks there. Not much to be done for that batch. Mayland gets Amorite, repairs that instantly, and Oops just increasing their HP lead by so much. And now the dead zone clipping from the side, landing shot after shot as well on towards that E5. Just the Oops completely dominating this round.
Some good shots coming from that angle from dead zone. He will probably empty most of his clip, but the enemy is definitely in giving position here. They cannot really do anything about it. Now one gun less for Utopia. As Muka falls down, pretty much the remainder of the team is in the same problem. I mean, this is 7 guns alive for Oops and just a scarce 4 for Utopia.
Insane here clipping from the back lines on towards the E5. They'll lose Rulezik. They'll lose Papa Pavian and Marakar at about the same time. Papa goes down first. Marakar will be going down second. And then it's just Colossoid, who has pretty much nothing left alive in his tank, as he has a damaged gun, a damaged Amarak, and a damaged turret. Insane puts him out of his misery. And that will be Oops bringing it 1-1 here with a very, very confident win. Yeah,
It was really impressive play,
Yep.
aggressive play, as we said. They
But
know how to
we
play.
have seen it before, and Utopia didn't seem to still know how to counter it.
It's pretty surprising because, honestly, even in last season when I was watching Utopia, they were a bit better on counterattacks than now. It does look like they're a bit hesitant. I don't understand, when they were chasing Bihu, why didn't Utopia tanks cut toward them? Or why didn't they immediately press the cap from the upper
They
side?
pushed off of the cap. They pushed off of the cap to go towards Miloš, but Miloš got back around the corner.
Exactly.
And by the time he got back, I don't understand why they just, you know, if this is Miloš's position, they came straight at him and went around the corner, but they just didn't push over and kill him.
I don't understand. And Miloš was even in reload in some moments there because he emptied some shells. It was a really strange play by Utopia, but by far Oops played well.
Yeah,
Used
Oops
it.
had the
to the
crossfire,
round.
had the angles, great stuff by them. And the stats here, Miloš, Mayland, Insane. All hitting
All
2K.
about Oops. But with 7 surviving players, that's
Yes.
rather expected.
Obviously, damage going to be very spread over the players. But Miloš in the Emil 2, that is the tier 9 tank on the first place. So always is a significant thing if he does manage to do that.
A tier 9 tank for Utopia is also on their first place. Just quite down below.
Just a few places below. And there you can see Bicho actually still did more than Dynamo, who only did 0.
Yeah, great display there by 0 shots and 0 damage dealt, while Bicho was the guy who was chased by entire team and he still did some damage.
Yeah, he actually did as much as Colossoid, Mrakar, and then Rulezik and Muka just about hitting 1.2. So yeah, I mean, all in all, Oops just complete dominance on the second round of Moravanka. So both these teams winning one round of Moravanka. That's it. We're moving on to... Don't cheat. Okay, you probably cheated anyways. Cliff now. Who's attacking? Who's defending?
I have no idea.
Mojo. Every time I ask you this, you're like, well, I don't know.
Do you?
Yes.
Don't look at my notebook.
I'm not looking at your notes.
Then?
Utopia is defending. No, attacking. Utopia is attacking. See, I knew it. I corrected myself. Works out, boys.
Sure.
It worked out. I corrected myself in like a split second, so...
No,
Yes,
it doesn't count.
at least I tried.
Especially not when you're looking my notes.
No, I was looking at your monitor, to be honest.
Oh.
I just couldn't really see the teams very well. So
Oh,
I
you're
was
a
like,
risk man.
I saw Dynamo's name, but then I couldn't see if like the flag icons were like green or red. So
You really like to spike stuff in your advantage like that poll you did with Steven.
don't forget to vote for me. Let's take a look at the lineups coming into Cliff here, Mojo. What do you expect?
Well, we saw a lot of plays by artillery on Oops side, but not this time in defense, of course, but in
Emil?
attack, very, very possible. Emil for Utopia in attack.
Stealing from Oops now, because they did it with Miloš.
Yeah, you can climb the Emil on the central hill, or you can even press him on a 1-2 line, depending how you play the game. Since in defense, of course, Oops does not have an arty, everything is usable and viable of those. Oops playing standard lineup, we've seen 3 times already, I mean 2 times already today when we watched defense of Cliff. We'll see how will Utopia fare with this one.
Yeah, who's going to pick up the first round here? Who's going to bring it 2-1, Utopia or Oops? What do you think, Mojo?
I would like to think that Oops will.
You would like to think that Oops will bring it to 2-1. Well, we'll have to find out once the game can get underway here. Looking forward to see how this pans out on our next map, and just got the confirmation, so let's get into it. Utopia versus Oops on Cliff. Utopia versus Oops, currently 1-1. No Wale in these lineups though. Utopia attacking Oops defense. It's hard to throw that in there, you know?
Wale is with us.
In spirit.
Well, Oops is really taking it hard on the towards 1-2 line here. Kamil will spot with his T49 from the bush, while Spoink, Miloš and Dedzor are doing the climb over the 3 line. It does look like it will succeed. A lot of giraffes there climbing, and they should be supported by at least 1 botshot from the climbing from the 4 line. Which will be insane.
Taking a lot of damage there in his batch. 607 coming out from Mayland in the TVP. So good start here. You're gonna do a run boost here. Okay, let's find out.
This will be interesting to see. Colostoid shot again.
Is forced to drop off. Let's see what they can gain from this.
Apple, wow! No, show us the boost.
Spoink, where are you?
Well, Spoink is already up.
Oh, that's a nice position. Then let's see what he can gain from it. Let's see what he can see from there. So, okay, so he takes the position from there. Okay.
That's an interesting approach and something that probably Utopia is not expecting at the moment.
Yeah, but he's spotted out right now, so... Okay, I mean, it's a nice approach. I guess it works out. He's safe, though. He's completely safe.
No, this is much better,
yeah,
actually.
this
Yes,
is much better. He
it's
gets
much
up all
better.
the way. He's safe. He can
He's in
back around the
cooldown.
corner. Yeah, good stuff. Really good stuff, actually, from Oops.
This is something we've never seen in the matches before.
No, this is new. This is smart. And Spoink is in a very strong position, hold down now. He can support on towards the hill, he can support on towards the middle. He's not really counterable whatsoever unless he makes a mistake.
Mayland already abandoned his position on the center of the map and climbed up while we were chatting here. So he's in a classic TVP sniping position on A5. But Kamil, he also abandoned because his players are controlling the lower part of the map completely. You can see the surrounding. He abandoned it, and he is actually boosting the positions here, because if someone actually chooses to push around the edge, watch about those falling apples,
Well,
he will
if
be the
Spoink
one to
gets
see it
stuck-
from this bush.
If Spoink gets stuck, might be becoming a fallen giraffe.
Watch your next.
What's your next zoo in the area? Mojra is just imagining. I think Walla might be with us though in the 9-0 line.
You think so?
If we see a splash,
Oh dear. You're not gonna let go of him, eh?
no, never. But Kamil here in an interesting bush, he will indeed see this rotation of Bihu and Muka around the 9-0. If they peek, if they stay down on this slope where they are now, they are safe. If they peek, Kamil will spot them. We're
But
gonna
they
have to
will
see.
not know exactly
Maybe
what
Spoink can
spot
get
is.
an angle towards them, even.
Yeah, but Mayland will have an angle for sure.
Yeah. So Muka, the first here.
He should be fairly safe from
Will they
Mayland.
figure it out, though? You think?
I don't know, man. I think Oops should have practiced enough to know will he get spotted or not.
No. If they will figure it out, he's in a bush.
Without a proxy spot, if Kamil doesn't make some mistake, probably not. But even if he lands some critical shot on one of the budgets and runs away even on like one shot, it will pay off, man.
Dynamo is taking the hill now. So there is that for the team of Utopia. See here the Emil slowly but surely getting up. Needs to go towards the right in a second. Then he will have the hill under control if he so chooses to.
It's a shame we didn't see him climb actually, but nevertheless, you can see, guys, he's there, and
You
he
can see
will
the
be
route.
probably
There's two routes.
botched.
This is the second route to take the hill around. Obviously, this is a lot safer.
My God, look at those mountaineering forces from Utopia. What do they plan, man? To do like, I don't know, skydiving from the cliff down on Oops?
Invasion of the Alps.
Wow.
So, well, at least Utopia showing that they know how to climb. Blind firing towards Mayland. No connection so far, as Mayland is sitting on a little bit of a more uncommon area almost. It's to say most players sit on the top. Mayland here a little bit lower on the side.
Smart boy. You would get a flat surface if you go there all the way to the top where he was blind shooted by Muka, but Mayland chose to be here, and I don't believe anyone would blind shoot this area where he is.
No, I don't think so either. So, hill taken for Utopia.
And Mayland is in reload, so he cannot actually shoot Dynamo now.
Well, he wouldn't be able to penetrate him anyways because he sees only turret.
You think? No, but I
Only.
think frontal
If
he
he's
can.
all the way up, there's still a little bit of a, like you see right in front of him, there's a little bit of a slope where the area goes up, he'd still only see turret. Even from all the way up, I think he
I
would
think
only see
frontally
turret.
you can pen the turret. If it's angled, then it's a problem. In a hold down. Frontally with gold, you should be able to pen it easy.
It's only 10 millimeters less than the Kranwagen. I don't think so. Not with a TVP gun. Doesn't have enough penetration. I don't think it'd go through.
You can test it sometimes.
Sure.
We'll see. But Milos here on position that we've seen from plenty budgets in last games also. It was played by Stefan from Kazna, and I can't remember who played it from Suba, but also common position for cover sniping on the hill, and they're all around covering Silence, who is there below the hill, their main proxy spotter.
Insane takes some damage right now. Mayland starting to clip onto Dynamo. No connection so far as the Emil proves too strong. Not sure if he even hit, but at least lets off some shots towards there. So a little bit of damage towards Insane, but they need more than this. They're still down about 1,000. Can quickly even out, but they don't seem to have an idea that Kamil is in his position. Amuka's making a run. He's going to push forwards, gets a bounce of his armor. Mayland is just reloaded. Mayland is spotted. He needs to go safe now. The TVP from Mayland starting to get a clip, gets tracked. Secondary track, no. just about gets saved behind the rock, but loses 1.2 for his trouble. Yes, Muka and Papa Pavian take a shot, but this is a nice positional gain for Utopia.
Yeah, by the time that his Sixth Sense went up, it was 3 seconds. In those 3 seconds, a lot of damage came his way, but he still did better than Diplomat in game when Kazna played it.
Well, he has an angle now towards the hill. You're onto Shuku. You might be able to clip. There we go. That's one. There's some shots from the dead zone now as well on towards Shuku. Even more overextension there for 1,000. That again brings back the game into favor of Oops. So weird that Shuku.
Oh my god, again!
My friend.
How to throw away 1500 HP? 1400, sorry.
Took 3 shots there from the dead zone. Shuku, not sure what's going on, mate. Not necessary whatsoever. So they're now 2,000 HP down. And I don't think they can start the cap because of Camille's position, or can they?
They even don't know Camille
No,
is
they
there.
can't. They can't.
Which is really cool for Oops. It does look like really elaborate and nice plan so far by them. A lot of good crossfires, and this desperate push by Utopia that was meant to find out who is spotting them failed because they didn't anticipate 49 there. Now they just lost the one batchat.
Yeah, they've lost one batchat of Colossoid. Now Insane will be joining towards Meylan, and I think Oops have a big amount of control in this round. I mean, by far superior.
This is really nice play by them so far. I like how they opened it. I like how they positioned the tanks. This is also unconventional defense we haven't seen so far. So it really works well for them. It does look very well angled from any perspective you watch.
I don't know about Utopia and their play though, because once they start getting spotted, they should kind of realize that it is possibly the T49 spotting them from some bush, but I saying that Muka is getting pounded from everywhere. 982 taken on towards him. Meylan from behind the bush easily clipping on towards him. Blind shots coming out, but no connections on the TVP. Great play there as Papa Pavin takes another one from Silans here, and Utopia is just falling to pieces in this round as Oops have 4,000 HP lead in this round, and the only one to take any significant damage is Meylan, and he is very safe.
Yeah, we've seen positions here if it's played well. I remember one game in the last season when Nile, I believe, played it here, and he literally single-handedly brought victory to Gohard, doing more than 4,000 damage. And he was always like this, on low HP, clinging on the mountain. And there he goes, Point takes out Papa Pavian, and the worst just got even worse.
Yeah, go from bad to terrible at this point. Insane now going back towards the middle. Meyland picks up Muka as well. Great play from him in that TVP. Spoink still up in his position. Utopia with 4 and no answers whatsoever. It seems like they haven't read the manual on how to break Oops' defense on Cliff, as it's not about to happen this time either. Meyland picks up another kill. I think that's his 3rd one in this round already, and now the boys from Oops, they're coming in for the closure. Bihu goes down towards Point. Dynamo, you have the hill. Congratulations. You can stay there, as Rulezik is now in the open for Silans Insane, the dead zone from the other corner. That TVP won't last very long either. Dynamo on the hill. Yeah, getting some nice shots, as his friend in the TVP is pretty much getting obliterated by the lineup from Oops. Well, as I say that, he's kind of just sitting in the open.
Well, Insane died there, but only noobs die. You know that how it goes.
Whoa.
So
BM.
6 players from Oops surviving here. Only Baguette died, and Utopia lost this by far. Man, it didn't look even close.
It wasn't
even
close.
For a second.
Mojo, I need you. No, don't spoil the damage. I just want to know how much assistance damage Camille did. Damage with
Damage
assistance.
probably around 3k. Let's see.
Like assistance damage.
2.4.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not too shabby.
I thought he would have done more, but still 2.4 is more than a full tier 10 worth of spotting. So not that bad whatsoever. And Utopia never really got into this round.
Well, Silence also had some spotting damage there. Not that much, of course. He had around 1500, but really nice damage done there by
I'm fairly
Meylan.
certain Meylan is on top.
not alone there.
Not alone. Dead zone, maybe? No, Silans. Okay. Silans. Well, very nice. Thought Dead zone did more, so he clipped onto Shuku, and that was about it. Meylan there with the TVP, very well played behind those bushes.
3 kills also.
Yeah, surviving. Most importantly.
Surviving is the most important part of that, not getting
Because
deleted
if he
immediately.
doesn't survive, I think he does like 1k.
If he died in that first moment, he would do like 300, man. Like, he was really... I think he had to run down after first or second shell.
Yep. Muka, Colostoid, Papavian. Well,
we said this is highly positional map
this is a
now
one-time
and super skill map.
this is
You do 1 millimeter of
this
mistake.
isn't almost a one-time defense, though. I mean, you can do the same concept. You can't use the same bush with the T49.
No. This is for this match, and it can be recycled in some moment later on, but
Yeah.
not immediately.
But even if you recycle, teams will be aware. If you do the same, if they see the same positioning, they will blind fire those bushes. I don't think you get away with sitting in the bushes.
Maybe there is some other
twice.
bush now. We'll see. There is a lot of bushes there out there.
There's a lot of bushes there, but I'm just saying, next time, I think it will be harder.
Still, this was a good concept. We've seen
Yeah,
two fairly new
especially
things.
that climb was very, very
we've seen
impressive.
fairly two new things, like how they climbed Spoink.
That's what you need
His
Spoink for.
cooldown position and the position of this 49 here, so this will bring something new
Now everybody
into the
will do
flavor
this.
of Cliff.
Now everybody will try to climb somebody up there.
Well, I'm pretty sure when you invent a climb, you know how to deal with it.
No, because I climbed an RU251 onto the 0 line on steps and I still don't know how to deal with it.
Yes, you do. Arty one shot.
Arty one shot. Because we were the first to do that back in season 5.
As Spoink knows the best, Arty is the great cure for that position.
But let's move on and take a look at the lineups. You have no idea how many people were mad after that was a thing.
Emil.
First point. Well, not first point.
We have the same lineup here for Oops now in their attack.
And the same lineup from
and
UTOPIA.
the same from UTOPIA.
In their defense. Hey.
Hey.
I've
Great
seen these
ingenuity
lineups
here.
before. Interesting.
Well, I hope Oops will know how to break their own defense with this offense.
Imagine if UTOPIA just do the same thing.
That would be the super funny stuff.
But I don't think so. Mojo, 3-1 for Oops or 2-2?
2-1 at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean after this.
Wow, Oops looks really confident at the moment, man. I will give it to them, actually.
Well, Mojo, let's get into the round and find out if your prediction is right. 2-1 in favor of Oops attacking UTOPIA on the defense. Gonna have to hold on here.
Let's see. Majority of Oops forces is going toward the main center hill on 6-7 line. It does look like they will position their tanks all around, so they have a kind of a backup. And maybe one or two guys just will go and try to position for sniping on the boosters, on the climbers.
Yeah, perhaps.
Oh,
Well,
look at the
likely.
positions there.
Ooh, Mailand fell off of this climb. Now, if you wonder why somebody would do this climb over the J7 climb, obviously, J7, you can be pushed. You can be pushed off. That climb towards the back there, this is the one we saw Stefan already do a few times. Once you get up there, they can't push you. You are safe.
Yeah, this is a super safe positions. Once you do it, Kamil is, on other hand, really aggressive going and risking here from the other side. What's interesting for me, I haven't seen a defense yet where, I mean, we've seen it, but rarely, where defender actually goes super aggressive from this side of the ridge and tries to catch off someone off guard.
Kamil's not defending, though.
When defenders push around
and
attack and try to catch people climbing, because this is kind of a flavor of the month, people climbing tanks from the backside here.
Yeah, I thought you meant something else. I was like, Mojo, you know who's defending?
They usually have a couple of guys coming there, like 2, 3, maybe 4, but never entire team.
Look at Shuku. He actually managed to get up, so...
Because there is no one spotting.
Yeah, yes, I'm guessing that's not the ID from them.
I think they're keeping those tanks down for a counter-attack, but Mayland failed the climb twice already.
Look at Insane. He's just waiting for somebody to peek over there. That's why he's lifted his gun a little bit on the rock. That's a nice ID as well.
Both him and Spoink and Dead Zone probably also.
Mayland still desperately trying here.
This is not for me. I'm a sniper, not a climber.
Player highlight. At this point, he's probably Spoink.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Kamil needs to be careful here, because if they sniff this out...
I think he's sent there as a sacrifice because they will soon do a full push with 4 tanks down for sure.
Here we go, Mayland.
You need to eat less donuts, man. That's
Whoa. Please, Mojo. Don't talk...
no police jokes?
Don't talk bad about Bayland, please.
Okay, climb number 4.
Wait, that one got spotted over there, so he's in the base. He got spotted out. He's going to have to go behind the RT rock pretty much. Colostoid got a nice connection in towards him.
Mayland is joining them.
Oops is going... Is he? No, he's not.
He did look like that.
But the counter push is coming in now. Insane, Decha, and Spoink are pushing down. Dynamo only takes one for his trouble. Sword needs to run towards the middle now. He could be in trouble. And if only they had Melan up in the position, they would be able to do damage towards him. But Sword, I think he's going to get out for free. And not managing the climb is costing Oops at this point in time as the shots come in from the side from Rulezik on towards the lineup of Oops. And the counter push is going to happen, Mojo. Look at it.
3 guys, maybe even 4th if Muka comes. So 4 guys are coming in. There's Spoink, Insane, and Decha are there. I think Dead Zone should be there any second. This might be a big shootout here.
And I don't think it's just about enough, as Insane is the first one to take the damage. Bihu is now crossing over. Decha actually takes 2 bounces off that armor. Insane is reloading already, though. Spoink is now getting connected from above. And here come the other tanks from Utopia. They're connecting onto Spoink now. They're coming down. They want to take it, but Melan is connecting from the side as well. Keep that in mind. Bihu now pushing over to finish off Decha. It's not clean, but it's working out so far as the Dead Zone picks up Bihu. They might have traded a little bit too much, but there comes Rulezik now. The entirety from Utopia almost present in this area. He takes 2 from Spoink. Rulezik should finally finish off Spoink. No, he misses 2. He misses 3. Papa Pavian actually has to do it in his T49, and that was not clean.
Dead Zone has to run away now, and I don't think Melan can actually cover him because he's probably empty too. HP-wise, Oops is actually by far leading 1500, but if they manage to take out any single player from Oops now, it will equal.
Yeah, but they take down Dynamo first. Milosh is that. Proxy Dynamo took him down. Oops with an HP lead in this round as well. Shuku is still on the hill here, fighting towards Kamil. If he can win this 1v1, it's going to be important as well. But Utopia are going to go for the secondary overmatch here against Milosh. Just about gets around the corner. Sword gets spotted out, takes the first connection there, coming back on towards Milosh. Rulezik keeps going though in his TVP there. He's going forwards. Milosh is getting clipped from the side. That is Shuku from the top of the hill. Shuku picks him up, but now he needs help towards Kamil because Kamil is coming for him. Melan picks up Rulezik. He's still full HP as well. The Dead Zone from the backside. And I'd say Oops still have a good advantage in this round.
Oops actually has the game in their pocket now. Kamil played so much, very smart. Dead Zone if he picks up Papa Pavian or one of these players. But what was this and why did he push in like that?
He pushed in towards the lineup, expecting them to be on reload, but they weren't. Kamil might get a shot towards Sword, gets 1. Melan from the middle as well. Can they pick him up before he goes down? No, he just about gets safe. But it's low HP tanks from Utopia versus 2 full HPs from Oops.
This is something that might be broken maybe by Papa Pavian and some of his huge shots there, but still Melan is on 100% of HP. We saw that he's not the best climber, but we do know he's really great at aiming.
They've realized that Kamil's on reload. Melan's coming around the backside of the hill. Shuku needs to run because Kamil doesn't have so many seconds left on reload. He needs to get despotted now in the back lines in his back shot as Kamil has about 3 seconds left on reload. Don't think Shuku's about to get away from this one. Kamil now has shells available. Can he get a connection on towards Shuku? Possibly no. Shuku just about gets safe, but there's the Melan coming in.
100% here on his budget. A lot to play around with unless there is some humongous connection by Papa Pavian. You can pretty much wipe out everyone in this game. Shuku takes another shot here from Kamil. Great play by him, super cautious on that hill. Crucial, I believe, that he stayed alive so long.
3 one-shots from Utopia versus 2 full HP tanks from Oops, who should have no issues cleaning up this round unless Papa Pavian connects.
I'm not sure even that is enough at the moment.
Perhaps. I have to see. Melan might be the first player to make a connection towards this T49
or find out what Papa Pavian made of.
Oh, it's going to be close between these two. Melan is going to come down. He's going to peek over. There he go. He gets spotted. Papa Pavian behind the rock. Melan seems to figure it out that there is somebody in the bushes there. Or does he? Papa is still there. Melan, does he figure it out? Papa Pavian is probably aiming towards the back of that bad shot. Papa Pavian, 862! Knocks out his turret, knocks out his gunner. Takes even more damage towards Melan, and this might be what Utopia needed.
Wow, Melan had to park here so he would recover from the shock, stress, and kind of, to repair his modules. Kamil is here immediately.
Mistiming by Kamil. He didn't see Shoku cross through the 1-2 line, and he's going to miss Sword as well.
But he did come on time to cover Melan, so he's not really cornered by them. At this moment, priority was to save the teammate, then he can work around with them. But Melan, I believe he should just go and start the cap, man.
Melan does have a dead gunner, though Kamil might be going towards Sword here, trying to pick up that kill. Kamil is going to peek over. He gets the kill. Sword perhaps shouldn't have kept pushing because Shuku wasn't reloaded yet. Kamil there with a vital play to close out this round. And with just Shuku left, Utopia just lost their last chance.
Come on, Mayland. Cap or lose. Cap or lose, man.
Cap for them points.
I just cap. So you can finish up the game. Well, Mayland doing fairly well here, even without the turret and the gunner. I mean, Papa Pavian really gave him a lesson, but it was simply not enough. Advantage in HP was so great that these guys could not recover out of it. Shuko,
It's impossible for Shuku to win this game.
why are they even trying to kill him?
I don't understand. All that matters is Melan can just push in with his HP and clean it up. Kamil's now going to peek up towards Shuku. Shuku doesn't even have the gun depression, gun elevation, more like that. Melan with that gunner, missing on the first, perhaps on the second. Shuku still trying to survive here. Kamil only has one shot. There's the first from Shuku. Kamil needs to play it safe now. He's aiming. Melan needs to come closer in his bad shot. Shuku doesn't have enough shots to kill both of them with one clip, but Kamil gets it.
This was super risky, and honestly, this could have been a throw of a century, man. Like, all Melee needed to do in this last moment is just go sit in the cap. Kamil protects him, and that's it. Well, but they wanted to kill them all. They wanted to kill them all. You could see that.
That counter push from Utopia, they took a lot of damage for that. I don't know if they should have just straight pushed in and overmatched.
There was a lot of bad shooting also. You saw how many shells didn't connect the enemies. I mean, Dead Zone from down was clipping all the time. Then they didn't pick him up. Even the tanks that were tracked down in, like, I mean, the TVP play, that was something of worst I've seen today. 3 shots that didn't end up in opponent on 1 shot who was tracked and dead without ammunition. Wow. That shouldn't happen ever.
That round was just weird in general. I think if Utopia just drive straight in, they probably kill the first, second, third without even losing anything. But stats as well important in this one, but I think if they just drive in, Melan doesn't even get a single shot on the counter push. Now he did 2.2k damage, of which most he did from the back line.
Yes, I mean, after all, Ducky already mentioned during the match why was his position back there so important, because when they do the rotations, he would shoot them in a flank, which happened quite late here, and that's why the game was actually so close.
But it still happened.
It still happened, but look at this. Kamil, crucial plays in this match. 3 kills with 2.6k. Not so much damage there, but his position that he survived so much that they had actually to abandon, not attacking him, choosing to go on another side. And he really outplayed it. He really outplayed it well.
I really think Utopia should have just driven in, killed the tanks in front of them, because it would be harder for Oops to focus if they just drove in. It would be much harder. But it is what it is. It is what it is, and it didn't work out, and Oops played it out well, 3-1. Got close there at one point, but worked out.
3-1 is a huge advantage here, I believe, because next map we can see here on the graphics down is Prokhorovka. I believe that Oops will actually be defending and Utopia attacking in this moment. If I read it correct.
You are right. Mojo, you're right. Well done.
Yay.
Well done.
Yay. But anyways, we know all that Utopia really likes to play with STRVs in every role.
Please, no double STRV.
Well, they're attacking now.
Doesn't matter when it's in Utopia, okay? They can bring anything.
STRV, and then you pick out
a courtyard if they want to, man. They might even bring 3. Well, we have seen them use STRV, actually, if you remember. They have done it before.
There are 2, not 3.
No, they have brought in on attack against Kazna crew, and it worked out.
Yes, so it actually worked out well.
1, I'll be like, okay, plus minus.
Well, there is enough bush so on Prokhorovka to use STRV well. On every side.
Mojo, please. Oh, no, okay. Lineup. Let's see how many STRVs Utopia decide to bring. I'm guessing 1. Yeah, no.
We are switching for Grille power. Well, Utopia here in attack, of course, they don't need that much of STRV, but 2 IS-7s and Grille. Grille, of course, being far superior when you want to penetrate those crown wagons and far more mobile. Also, I believe we saw Utopia actually in attack playing even with 2 Grilles.
It's going to be interesting to see who plays the STRV for Oops.
Well, there had to be 1 STRV there. But it's good defensive tank. I mean,
just noticed?
It is.
I was like, oh, Oops brought the STRV, and I thought you were going to say something about it.
I don't mind STRVs, man.
I don't mind 1. 2 and an Udes and a Gorilla, well, that's where we draw the line.
Well, I mean, after that one, I actually don't like because it really cuts on your mobility. One is really good because that DPM.
I don't like the fact that they don't have anything super hold downish to play.
Yeah,
because Utopia could blitz eastern side if they want to. Like
there is only STB and that might cost them.
Yeah, exactly. Like they've done before. Like Swift has as well. Take the eastern side, blitz it if they have to.
Play with Grillas from the high ground.
Play with Grilla from the high
shoot
ground.
Anyone who picks.
Kill the STB, and then what do you do?
Yeah, you have to charge in, and then you have STRV.
That's why I think Oops will do something like we see a lot of teams do now, one batch shot spotting with a STRV behind. We'll have to find out if that is the case as we move into our next map. It's going to be Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
Here we go, Utopia versus Oops, currently 3-1 in favor of Oops, who are defending Utopia on the attack and Mojo the eastern side.
That's in play. The introduction video said a lot of tanks with good gun depression and armor meeting and clashing down in the center. I haven't seen that clash entirely. I mean, maybe once in this season.
Perhaps, but you can see already the blitz from Utopia coming up. Papa Pavian spots out insane, and like predicted, it's just an STRV in A1.
But there is a lot of Oops players here on the village side.
It's not enough, in my opinion.
We will see very shortly, because that zone is the only one in a risk here. As a spotter, everyone else is lined up as a sniper. They will try to take out some. Bihu already taking some damage there and burning!
Bihu is on fire indeed, but doesn't take down that much. 793, he had a medkit. It did cost him a little bit. Now Meylan and Kamil are here. A little bit of a trap, Mojo.
But they're not spotted, so this is not the best thing for Utopia here, because majority of players of Oops is smartly positioned here, and they're using only one spotter.
But this is the end of the sniping coming out from Oops. An insane pace. The price for what happened. Muka does get connected in his Gorilla. He gets even more connections actually towards him. He needs to be careful. He goes down towards the one shot. He's going to go down. Ooh. Yes, Insane actually picks it up. So nice play coming out there from Oops. I thought Muka might be able to survive, but apparently I was wrong, and it's still the trap there from Meylan and Kamil.
This is a problem now, because Milos can freely use his turret here on the rail, and there is barely anyone who can actually deal with him. Dead zone, yes, he's left as a spotter. He's not going to last very long in this position, but he's did his job already.
Yeah, but Marakar will pay for this, I think. He's just about driving into Meylan and Kamil. They might pick up the dead zone here, but when is Meylan and Kamil going to spring their trap?
Not spotted yet. Dynamo
there
will
comes
actually
the
be
trap.
the
comes the trap. They finally peek out. Dynamo's the first target. Nice focus fire there from Oops on towards the bat shot. Now Marakar's like, what do I do now? As Decha peeks from the front, the bat shot's from the side. They're going to lose another IS-7 here. Great play coming out from Oops. Marakar just about done in this one. One more shot. The bat shot's actually not using shells towards him. Marakar lands another nice connection. Decha finally finishes him off. They lose Rulezik as well, and it's just Bihu Kolostoin and Papa Pavian left standing against 6 tanks from Oops.
The game started, and it's already over. Oops, not 1, but 3 steps ahead of Utopia, who try to play standard against them and pay the price. Oops today shows us why they considered a great team, because they have unorthodox way of thinking things, and they're really using it well combined with their aggression, at least in this match.
At least in this match, that is very true, as Papa and Bihu are now going to have to withstand the entirety from Oops coming in. Meylan coming in for some ram damage, with Insane coming for some jump damage, as Bihu is the last man standing. Meylan, no, Kamil picks it up. 4-1 in favor of Oops.
Match point here from the start. Now Oops, of course, will go on attacker side, but this is really something lovely. It was a mind play of a sort. It was a good read. What will Utopia have to do? And Oops really magnificently performed this trap here. I really like how they withheld those two butchers there. They just used Dead Zone. Dead Zone even used himself as a bait. He came to those bushes, so FC Dino was like, okay, I'm gonna go and pick him up. But there were like two butchers waiting in the bushes. Wow, that was really magnificent.
Yeah, it was a good play from Oops, and even without those batches in the trap, I think they would still have been able to close out this round because they already lost Mocha, who was in the back lines. He died afterwards. I mean, when you lose that gorilla, when you lose that player that can do that damage to the STB.
STB and I7s are free to roam, to do whatever.
So once they lost Mocha, I think that was game over, round over pretty much for Utopia. But let's take a look at the stats and see exactly how much there was done. Milosh actually top damage here, and Mojo, you asked about Deja. Well, here he is.
Finally, Deja there in the top, followed by Insane and Camille, the trap guys, and Malan there in the back. So 5 out of 7 guys here from Oops. Well, that's for us quite expected in this game.
Yeah, and I think we might find Dead Zone around place number 13 or 14 in this round.
Wow, man. He was a spotter, so...
Oh, yeah! I was right.
How much he
but
spotted,
it's okay. He's just about on the same level as Relizic.
Let's see, Dead Zone here.
I don't think that much, actually.
2.9k, man.
2.9?
Yeah,
not
that's
bad.
quite nice. Silence, though, on his STRV doing magnificent one-shot.
I don't understand, though, how Utopia fall for this, because that bush being used is not new. Again, it just feels like they just went in without properly checking things. I mean, it just felt like they just kind of drove in, and then when they got spotted, they were like, well,
they
what do we
played
do
so
now?
aggressive that they were already in a bad positions, and because they thought while they were playing STRV in previous games that anyone who plays it must be in the forest side, the lineup of Oops was certainly saying it playing with STB and I7, but again, that's one of the mind plays. It's something like videos we are making about Ruinberg as example. You can show maybe one thing, but you play something completely different and lure the enemy in a trap, and that's exactly what Oops is doing now.
Yeah, as long as it's not Ruinberg and Algo is not playing a CDC, it seems to be going pretty well for them in that regard. Hey.
That was low, man.
No, that was right on point. That was bellissimo.
Well, not if you're Algo.
Algo knows I love him.
Abusing minorities, man.
Let's be real here, man. I once played a game with Algo, and you know that pile on Himmelsdorf, that robo pile to drive into the core. Yeah, he flipped me over there, and I didn't recover. So we are not even close. So didn't even write me an apology letter.
Nice work, Algo.
Yeah. But yeah, 4-1. Is it over? Is it over? Books closed for Utopia?
Well, Utopia is defending now. We will see if they take 5 tank destroyers now, so we will see. I mean, they had 4 last time.
Mojo, let's take a look at the lineups, and let's hope there's not too many Swedish TDs present here. Yeah.
Only one. Fairly safe.
Approvable.
Yes, this is a fairly strong lineup for defense with I7, STRV, and in E5. 3 butchers for roaming and an RU. So, rather good. On other hand, well, Oops is playing almost identical as Utopia did in previous game, just 1 I7 less.
Lineup-wise?
I would like actually to say, I think Utopia actually has a better lineup at the moment. So it's going to be up to rotation.
Yeah, also, just that one heavy tank from Oops has to pretty much survive the entire round if they want to have a say in it. Because if he doesn't, if he goes down early, he takes a lot of damage early. We know that's going to be Milosh.
Yes.
We know it's going to be Milosh, that's for sure. But if he takes a lot of damage in the early game, he gets caught out, he gets pushed, and there's no reaction from Oops, then I think they're in big trouble.
Well, we will see. We know the Milosh is a survivor.
He's a survivor. He's going to make it.
He is going to bounce everything.
Did you not catch the reference? No?
No.
I'm a survivor. Okay, never mind. Let's get into the next round here on Prokhorovka, where Oops is currently up 4-1 over Utopia. Utopia has to defend this one, and Oops preferably has to attack this. They can also sit back in their base if they so choose to, but then they will lose the round.
I was hoping you will sing more, but never mind. Oops is going.
I'm a survivor. Keep on surviving. That's the reference I make, man. But look at Oops
is going toward the village aggressive as Utopia did, but Utopia is playing their standard toward the forest. They are completely giving it up. So we will see, will that actually work out for them? Mayland is really following those tanks.
And
He's
Colossal
not going
hasn't
toward the hill.
seen any of them so far. So this lineup from Oops pretty much getting into that eastern side
For free.
For free, without being seen, without being spotted. They're going to clear the zero line very quickly.
I can smell the confusion on Oops' side. Are you spotted? No. Are you spotted?
Are you
No.
spotted? No.
Is anyone spotted? No.
Where are they? I don't know.
In the forest.
Well, Colossal now spots out Decha, so they are aware. Look at the information he got. He spotted 3 tanks. He spotted Silence, Decha, and Insane. So they know.
Finally.
They know.
Finally, after 1 minute, he saw the tanks that were already all over the place. There is finally rotation here coming in from Utopia, but they have so much ground to cover. You can see Papa Pavian doing a charge in the forest to see is there any trap that they have to clear out first, because if Oops would leave a couple of tanks there, if they would come back in the back of Utopia, that would be a disaster. But Papa Pavian cleared it out first, so they need to now close in toward the middle.
Yep, Dynamo is going to be closing in towards A6 and at E5, and it's just the dead zone in A0. Yes, he'll be able to pen the side of the third of the E5, obviously, because of our U251, but will it be enough to stop the cap? Don't necessarily think so. I think Dynamo should be able to reset.
Malen's position, he's not up on a hill anywhere, he's actually on lower
Yeah,
ground. So it's a good angle to shoot his side when he peeks.
He has straight on right now. If Dynamo peeks, it's straight on.
Look at those guys waiting for someone to peek. Oops is full of traps today, man.
Who is that? Decha and Silence? No. Yes? I think Silence. Yeah, it's Silence. There we go. Dynamo peeks over. He spots both of them. There goes the trap. That's done. Insane gets resetted. And now we go back to... yeah.
So what now?
What now for Oops? That's the question you have to answer.
Because now they're closing in, they're going on Dynamo, but if they cross, it's going to be a suicide, honestly. And by this regard, if they would have forces gathered, they would make it, because there is a lot of tanks from Utopia down, but they don't know that. They don't know that.
Well, even if they push over, there's Bihu, Colossal, and Muka, that's one dead batchat. If they connect one shot, if they all connect one shot, that's one dead batchat. If they connect 2 shots, that's 2 dead batchats. So this counter push from Oops, I don't think it'd be an option at this point in time.
No, at the moment they're pretty much locked in. Mrakar is really dangerously peeking there.
He was trying to help towards Dynamo. If they pushed over, he could shoot them as well.
Yeah, but no one actually connected Mrakar, so that's what surprised me. So Oops obviously giving up on this kind of play. They will just leave dead zone to spot if there is any rotation there from Utopia. Decha is spotted rotating. This is not good for them, because now Utopia also knows that they need to move center of their attention elsewhere.
Yeah, the Sab Dynamo spotting at the rails here, so far so good for Utopia. I mean, if they make the correct rotations now, cover towards Papa Pavian, Marakar's already falling back. That's good stuff here all around.
They can return now and push Dynamo.
There's still too many tanks, I think, to do it.
No.
That bounce from the STRV.
Well, Milos knows exactly where STRV is now, which is rather good. It does look like Silence and Decha are gathering up here, so they might actually push on Dynamo in one moment.
There's still 2 bad shots waiting, mate.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, but that means that also Oops has to pull off more forces there.
Now Silence and Decha are pushing up. You think they're gonna take the overmatch? I think they're gonna pay for that one.
They're gonna pay for sure.
And Dynamo will spot them right now. No, they're still on the lower side. Now we will see them. No? Okay, he didn't peek far enough. If he spots them late, this could be an issue. There we go. He spotted out Silence.
Oh my god, Silence hit the red line, lost some speed.
It's just going to be a cap for now.
But who will shoot Dynamo when he peeks? Like, they're all really not in position to do that. Dead zone is sitting in a pretty default bush here, so Dynamo can blind shoot it. He doesn't really have to see him.
Well, they'll probably send Colossal towards the rail to spot it out. What does Oops do here? Because they have 2 guys in the cap, but it's still not enough, I think.
It does look like Insane is trying to provoke him to shoot him, so to waste more time. So when the decap comes, but Dead Zone is spotted here. They know it, and there you go. Immediately, they shot him first.
There comes the overmatch. Decha and Silence now pushing over. Silence takes most of the damage for it. They have the side of the E5. They actually only have the front right now. Decha will be onto the side, but Silence only has the frontal plate of the E5. Now gets towards this flank, but he will die for that. He's not going to get back over this rail. And Decha's on reload. He's going to pay for getting over this as well. He should. He pays. He gets ammo wrecked. He goes down towards the one shot. And this is the trade we talked about, and it's not the trade they were looking for.
As we said on the start, Utopia does have a favorable lineup here for defense, and Oops didn't really have any means how to pen this defense. I mean, I didn't like even how they positioned the Gorilla, honestly, from the start, because he wasn't in
I don't know why they didn't drive him to A0. They had the time for it.
Yes, they had a lot of time. Like, he would be able to keep P5 off.
Now they just had to fight the front of an E5, and we know that doesn't really work out.
No. This was a really heavy price to pay. And I don't see a way out of this. This is almost 3,000 HP there, and it's going down as we are speaking. Their tank down. Utopia lost only light tank, while Oops already lost a Bachat, and most of their tanks are really on low HP.
And even Miloš can't do much in his IS-7, because every time he peeks a little bit too far, Muka and the STRV is there to punish him. So there's that as well. And with 4,000 HP down, only having traded an RU for a bad shot, just really not worth it. And Miloš is taking even more damage here. I think that's from Muka in the STRV. If he gets one more connection, he will go down. That IS-7 against the STRV, even that hole, that top hole is not going to bounce much.
This is a rather done game. 3 minutes till the end. Oops will gather up in one moment for some final push. Try to do in a gunslinger way, but that will just not happen because Utopia is really covering all the angles well.
Well, Insane found that Dynamo is still in his position here. Spoink and Insane, they're actually going in for a last ditch attempt here. Spoink gets instantly picked up. Insane won't fare much better. He might get Dynamo. I don't think he will. Decha now coming in as well to try and help, but he goes down towards Biko. 1, 2, 3, 3 tanks down. Melan now getting wrecked on the other side. He is removed, and it's just Miloš. It's just the dead zone at this point, and you could say he's pretty much surrounded, and he's in a fairly big dead zone.
Ha.
Ha, 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 ha.
I'm completely hilarious. Well, dead zone here.
I had to make that at one point, you know?
I was waiting for that entire match, man. So dead zone here. One with this
You see, it becomes funnier over time.
He does.
You just have to let it, like, you know, creep in as Dynamo removes him from that zone, and he's now at dead zone. Yay! You see, it becomes better over time. He's smiling. This is the first time in 43 years we actually managed to achieve this.
Seriously, man, you had 1 year every time we cast.
Well, that's because you age 1 year every time.
I'm gonna be like 65 by the end we finish the season. Man.
Yeah, I have crutches for you in the changing room.
Yeah, I've seen ones actually. They're stylish, so it's okay.
Yeah.
They're pimpish, so
You see, it got better over time. I could see like the smile come up, and it's like, wasn't actually that bad.
Yeah,
you know?
you're actually doing something now.
Huh?
You're doing something well, finally.
What?
What?
Feels bad, man. But that was just... I don't understand why they didn't put the Gorilla at least on the D0, I guess it is, or A0.
For me, it's surprising because they played a couple of rounds so confident and well planned, and then came this shabby round. I can't say anything else because yes, they took a lot of ground there, but they had nothing to do with it after that because they had no tanks.
You know what I love though? When they pushed over into the E5, neither of the two Bachas came onto his side. They just drove over.
And even when they pushed him another side, they had a Bacha they could shoot, but still shot him. Oh, Dynamo. Sorry, I already sold you. So Dynamo there with 3.4. Yeah, I have Bihu still. And I have Melan, I think.
Yeah, Melan, not much to be done for him this round. I don't know if it was a team decision, but I feel like they should have done the tactic we saw from Utopia, we saw from Swift. A Gorilla in A0 does work. It works. We've seen it happen. He can get those shots onto the E5 turret when he peaks up. One reset, he goes down to 1,000 HP. Second reset, he's pretty much dead. Third reset, he's dead.
Dynamo with 3,000 damage blocked.
3,000 damage blocked?
Yes.
Well, we saw what happened.
That's quite a lot.
Neither of the two bad shots, it didn't seem even that well coordinated because they came over and one should have almost sacrificed to get the side shots. You just drive next to him, right?
Yes.
You drive next to him and you kill him, while the other one
but
goes
he covered
safe.
his back really, really carefully, and he was always next to the red line, so he didn't really give them much openings.
But it was still could have maybe been a bit better, and it is what it is. 4-2. Now moving on to Himmelsdorf. And this map, I don't know about Oops, about the way they play. We saw against Ding, it was good and all in all. I've not been that much of a fan of their Himmelsdorf, and I think UTOPIA could do something here.
They could make a 2-0 comeback here, but also UTOPIA does make a lot of mistakes here on Himmelsdorf also.
They do, but just Himmelsdorf is one of those maps where it is possible. If
Himmelsdorf is the most played map currently in a league by every team. That's really surprising. It's almost a quarter of the matches so far.
Both these teams have bad stats on Himmelsdorf.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
They're both bad Himmelsdorf teams.
They're playing really aggressive, but it really bounces off
well,
their
Oops has
positioning.
that standard defensive tactic where they have like the 50 Bs and then shooting across. We'll see in the lineups if they have the same thing. Then continue the point that was talking about. Oops here. Double T10, FE 4005.
It's rather standard.
Yeah, they have those 50 Bs like in the 1-2 line to shoot the crossing. But that is with the 1390. Now they have double T10.
UTOPIA 1390 i7. There is a lot of single shooters here for UTOPIA. That is not quite usual, especially with this i7.
Well,
we need to see, will they actually choose maybe to even do offensive push in defense?
Yeah.
There is a possibility for that here.
I'm sorry, I was confusing Oops. Oops is on the attack. I thought they were defending. Never mind. Obviously, then I'm going to play the same on the 1-2 line. But double T10, getting it to work on the attack is hard because you need to put somebody on the cap.
Yeah, combined with this i7, double T10, it's a pressure game.
Well, we're going to have to find out if Oops can close it out or UTOPIA can make it a 4-3 as we move on to Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
And here we go, UTOPIA versus Oops is not quite over yet. 4-2 in favor of Oops still, who are on the attack. UTOPIA on the defense and Silence in the FE 4005.
I would expect to see Melon there, but he's on 50B.
I just guess he likes 50B, my friend.
They're
Who's not in the lineups?
Beside Algo, who didn't play Kamil?
Kamil
is wow, Kamil is missing.
Kamil not here on Himmelsdorf is surprising. Miloš already very aggressive down the 8 line. No damage taken, so good. But look at the aggressive push from UTOPIA.
Actually, I was meaning that Oops might do aggressive push themselves and then try to trap. And look at this, Miloš actually came back, but he was spotting doing so.
Yeah, but look how aggressive. This is the entire team from UTOPIA, Mojo. All 7 players here.
And we have 5 players from Oops waiting for them, so that would be advantageous for them. And they do have a budget really close and that FE.
Ooh, the dead zone trading with Rulezik. That Rulezik getting the better of him because ammo rack damage. Yes, the dead zone connected to shot, but losing your ammo rack, having to use your repair kit, it's a win for
honestly,
UTOPIA.
This position where dead zone is, I remember even from times when you played tier 8, when I played, when you play with Ice 3 there, you cannot angle like this. You need to do reverse. You must do reverse.
Well, Spoink is on the hill, trying to find an angle, and look at UTOPIA. They're rotating out now, all of them. Down the 1-2 line they go. They got spotted to, and Oops might be...
Ooh, they might actually catch someone in a crossfire in the back. Wow, wow, wow. Papavian took a shell here. Rulezik dodged the bullet, luckily for him. But now, actually, Oops might catch them off.
Oops is catching them off. They are doing some damage. And Dynamo in the 50B seems to be getting clipped from behind. He loses about 800, but Mainland loses the same amount of HP. So yes, Oops is getting good positions here, but it just feels like it's not enough yet.
It's a super strange game. I believe Oops should really press their tanks toward the courtyard now, like right now, and cut off a UTOPIA tanks and then put one guy on 2 cap.
They should be rotating towards the east because there's 3 tier 10s stuck from UTOPIA and E1.
Yes, they should start moving now. Like, leave them, leave them, leave them. Just make a crossfire.
They're giving the opportunity here to UTOPIA to rotate with Bihu, with Dynamo.
Oh, why didn't they cover the courtyard already? Look at this. Now they're late to catch Shuko and the guys.
Insane is indeed late in that then Shuku did take a shot from Spoink, but with just Insane there, it's not enough just yet. Bihu will cross over now, and so will Dynamo, and that is...
Bihu is not spotted. Insane will die one-on-one there. Easy. He will be through down like a Pac-Man.
Well, let's get ready for it. Bihu peeking around the corner. He finds Insane. Insane doesn't connect the shot. Bihu stands still now. Dynamo's coming as well. And oops, you've made a mistake. As you didn't cover the 5 line, the tanks come around the corner. They remove Insane. And now they found the trouble they were looking for.
This was really a big misplay here by Insane and by entire Oops team, because if they were already on position, as you said, on courtyard, waiting for that, they would catch the rotation of Utopia, shoot some of them a bit until they run away, put Spoink on cap, and just pressure them in reaction. Then Utopia would have to go over open fields to try to play around with it. Now we just need to see, will Oops be able to catch them in rotation?
This is great from Utopia. Look what they're doing. Look where they are going. Bihu and Shuku are going towards the hill. That's the best rotation they could have done.
They might actually catch Spoink off.
If Bihu goes with Shuku, they will catch Spoink off. And Spoink, he's alone there. Spoink will spot them out, but Bihu should still be driving up because there will be tanks coming around the corner very, very soon. He needs to go up because there is tanks coming. It's now or never. Bihu, if he drives down, he is
Bihu
dead.
is dead.
Bihu needs to go. Bihu needs to drive up. He gets spotted out. He's going to try to drive around the corner. He gets struck. He gets held. Does he get retracked? Yes, he does. Mistakes from Bihu coming out as well. Decha will be getting the clip on towards him as Point comes off and cleans up Shuku as well. So 2 tanks down here for Utopia, and they were a little bit slow with that one.
Dynamo is hiding here because he's too late to help his teammate. He could have traded Decha there, but then Oops would know that he is also there, and they would just wipe him out and leave 4 tanks for Utopia. Like this, there is still like a hidden joker on that A line. He can still be used unexpectedly because Oops did not check out that street.
He's trying to cross here, Dynamo. That's a mistake as well. Look at the damage he's taken. He's tracked. He needs to repair now. Mayland will be crossing through the 8-9 line. Yes, Dead Zones takes a bunch of damage from that 50B, but Mayland will be coming behind him any second now. There we go. Picks it up. Dynamo removed. Trap. Yeah, about that.
A lot of advantage here for Oops because they have 6 toward 5 guns, 4 guns of Utopia. HP is neglectable here, so the main issue is how many guns will shoot toward Oops. Utopia here is split over the place with 2 tanks up and 2 tanks down. They're really susceptible to counterattack from Oops at the moment.
Well, it looks like Oops is starting to group up a little bit with their guns. Milosh is there, side scraping towards Papapavian. Muka will have a Spoink behind him any second. Papapavian going to make the peek here against Milosh, who overextended just a little bit. Dead Zone shot Milosh in the back of the turret. Minus 1.5 in this case. The IS-7 taking so much damage, but now Muka is getting flanked by Spoink, and there's that happening in the meantime. Minus 1.2 here on towards Muka, who has no angle towards Spoink. Spoink clips out. Minus 1.4 onto that 113. So good stuff there, but the HP is still even. Rulezik is in the courtyard here. If he can possibly pick up Milosh, because Milosh is stuck there. Papapavian will be coming towards the corner. It's going to be side scraping. It's not over just yet. But wow. Spoink can kill Muka once he's reloaded. That's the thing,
5 to 4.7, so Spoink is the only real advantage that Oops actually has.
Papapavian backing up around the corner, goes to A7, takes a shot from Milosh. The HP is still very even here. Spoink about to come into the fight as well. Rulezik actually gets Milosh. He peeks around the corner. They did not expect that. Muka now needs to be careful because Spoink is coming off of reload. He needs Rulezik to help him. He is the 2-shot if needed. Mayland is still on the A-line. There comes Spoink, and I don't think that there's going to be anybody in the vicinity to help him. Gets the track shot onto Muka. Rulezik, how far away are you? Can Muka block him at least? Silence picks up Papapavian, connects actually. Rulezik leaves Spoink on 8 HP, and I still think Oops is in control.
Oops is in control because with this big derp silence is coming around the corner here, he will be covered by Mayland, and still they have HP, but on that tank destroyer. Spoink on 1 shot, Dead Zone on 1 shot. Mayland, if it's any normal alpha, he will be also dead in 1 shot, so will Decha. This game is not concluded, but there is a great lead here for Oops.
Well, Rulezik is going to be the first to lead the charge around the corner as he has to in his 1-1-3. He gets spotted out. Is he going to side scrape against Silence? Yes, he's going to try. Silence comes around the corner. He removes Cole's sword. Exactly what he needed to do. And it's just Rulezik. And they're going to go clean him up. With 7 seconds left on the cap, they can choose to stay if they want to. He's on a 1-shot, 48 HP. The Dead Zone picks it up. And Oops barely clutch victory. Barely.
Barely, like what looked so easy game when they caught them off. after that bad rotation with Insane.
Bihu, my friend.
It was responded by even worse by Utopia by splitting
Bihu.
so much and not playing together.
If Bihu and Shuku went up together,